First step in printmaking is you actually take 100% cotton rag printmaking paper, which I use BFK, and you soak it in water so that the paper's receptive to the ink. And so you take the paper, gently use your fingers, and you soak it in the water soaking station and make sure that the paper is completely immersed in water and no air pockets are formed. Now while the paper is soaking, we start inking the dry point plate that I have prepared. In this case, I'm using one of my Ferris wheel series dry point plate. I use a very low tack process where I just etch on cardboard, and so it's acid free and I'm not using reacting metals with acids to create etchings. I use oil-based inks. I do not use water-based inks, although they're a little more environment friendly because I just love the richness of oil-based inks. I choose sepia as one of the inks. Scoop out amount of ink that I need, typically a little more because you never know. You usually need to work the ink a little bit so that it loosens up and it's not as stiff as it is in the box. Take your palette knife and just, work it through like butter and then soften it. I apply it on the dry point plate with good amount of pressure just to make sure that all the ink goes in the etched part of the plate. It has to get inside each groove, and we ensure maximum full coverage of the plate, not just in the etched part, and complete the application using more ink if needed. Wiping the plate is probably one of the most important tasks in a good dry point etching printmaking. We typically start wiping with good pressure to just take off excessive ink on the dry point plate, and go in circular motion in order to make sure you don't tear up anything or don't create lines. Use a dirtier rag in the first place because there's enough excessive ink as it is, and then incrementally keep using cleaner tarlatan to wipe out more inks and apply more firm pressure where you need the wiping to be cleaner. So at this point, the dry point plate is ready, and I'm now gonna start working on the monotype plate. I use a lighter version of the same color. I'm using sepia, and I'm gonna add some burn plate oil to it. Now, using a brayer, I just flatten out the ink, mixing the burn plate oil and the Charbonnel ink that I'm using. I'm gonna create the monotype plate out of this and ensure a complete coverage on the entire monotype plate. We take the paper and then put it on top of a towel so it absorbs excessive water on the sheet, and take another additional towel and roll it on top of the paper. That helps drain excessive water. I've already set the pressure of the press and created my registration plate. There I have marked my paper size and the plate size, so it's ready to go. Pressure of the press is usually calibrated on the go. Sometimes you need to add a little more pressure or loosen it a little bit based on how the cranking feels. It's more of an experience-based thing. So now I'm placing the dry point plate after ensuring the paper is trapped and registration is done. And now with clean hands, gently drop the paper on top of the dry point plate. There you go, that's the first layer. See how well everything is printed on top of the paper. I take the monotype plate that was prepared earlier with the sunset orange, beautiful sunset orange color that I made, and place it exactly on top of the print. And I just love this technique of adding another layer of color that completely transforms your print. And that's layer 2. The good part is just to know when to stop, and I'm going to stop here because I like this. I could add more layers if I need to, and I can always keep building up images of backgrounds on top of this. But for now, I'm going to stop here. I really like this. That's my dry point technique. for printmaking.